Straight ahead on News Channel 5 this morning, hundreds of people have been rescued from the devastating flooding in Texas, but this morning, more than 24 are still missing from a summer camp.
And this is one of the busiest travel days from this busy holiday weekend. We've got long lines behind us, and we're giving you a look at what you can expect from the airport right now.
Wow, very busy. Plus, help is coming for those who are still dealing with damage from April's storms. We'll tell you about the new resource available. Your news is now.
Keeping you safe, informed, connected. This is News Channel 5 This Morning.
Live look at the Nashville airport on what AAA says is going to be the busiest travel day of this July 4th weekend. More on that in just a minute. But first, good morning to you. It is 6 a.m. on this Sunday morning. I'm Jennifer Kraus. Glad you are with us. Kind of hazy out there from the view there, Henry, but we just had a beautiful look at the sun. How about that?
Yeah, still got it going. I just keep hearing the music from Lion King when I see this right now. Gorgeous start to the morning, but then you step outside and you realize, oh, it is July, it is humid, and that heat, it's going to be with us. Let's take a look at this beautiful sky cam shot again from one of our cameras there at 333 Commerce as we look off to the east from the Batman building. And just a beautiful start to your morning. The temperature to go along with this beautiful shot, 75 degrees and a south wind at about 5 miles per hour. More temperatures, 72 Dixon, Clarksville's at 75, but we're at 72 Portland, 77 in Hopkinsville. And if you want cooler air, go to McMinnville, Cookville, Crossville in the 60s, or down towards Fayetteville at 68 degrees. We have no rainfall to talk about right now for the News Channel 5 coverage area, but off to our west just a bit, you can see a few of these little pop-up showers that have been trying to develop. We'll see with the heating of the day, maybe a pop-up shower here or there. If you want to head out to the lake or the river or a pool, hey, it's a great day for it. We'll have 80s by 9, 90s at noon, and mid-90s this afternoon. I know you're thinking, well, wait, that's really hot. Yes, it is. But that makes it for a great time to cool off in one of the area waterways or just the old-fashioned way, maybe getting the slip and slide out or the sprinkler. Either way, Jennifer, hopefully whatever your plans are, it does have some AC or ways to beat the heat today.
All right, Henry, thank you. The search for survivors continues after that devastating flooding in central Texas. Officials still can't say exactly how many people are unaccounted for, but they do estimate 25 are still missing from the children's summer camp, Camp Mystic. So far, 27 people have died. Crews, though, have rescued more than 230 people. We'll share more on the rescue efforts and the push to help the hardest hit areas coming up in a few minutes. Meanwhile, help is coming for those dealing with damage from April's storms. FEMA opened mobile disaster recovery centers after tornadoes, winds, and flash flooding caused widespread damage in Clarksville and several other areas in Middle Tennessee. Recovery centers will reopen in Davidson, Dyer, and Wilson counties on Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. FEMA staff will be there to answer questions and provide resources to help get you back on your feet.
Maybe you realized, well, insurance didn't cover everything because insurance is your best line of defense. But maybe now that the dust has settled and you realized it didn't cover everything, typically that's when FEMA can come in and possibly help out. So it's important if you have any question at all just to reach out to us.
FEMA says it should be relatively easy to get in and out and get the information you need. You can stop by during your lunch break. The centers will also be open on weekends, but not today because of the holiday weekend. All right, here's another live look at the Nashville airport. The Transportation Security Administration, or TSA, is expecting more than 18 million people across the country to travel over the July 4th weekend. And today, yes, today, they say, will be the busiest day at airports. So how are things out at the Nashville airport this morning? Eric Pointer has been in the lobby for us this morning. And Eric, maybe it looks like all 18 million people may just be behind you.
Man, if not the full amount, then close to it, because this line is so long. It was wrapping all the way down to the ticket counter, but they've started wrapping it, and you can just see it go back again. The longest that a lot of people have ever seen it here. I've heard a couple people say that, and just to see the reaction on people's faces when they realize that this is the end of the line and it keeps going, that has been a shock for a lot of people this morning. And so TSA, again, predicts today to be the highest passenger volume with nearly 3 million people being screened today alone. During the busy weekends like this, you want to give yourself extra time to get through security. You just saw what our line looks like right now here at 6 o'clock in the morning, so you want to try to get to the airport 2 hours before a domestic flight or 3 hours before an international one. And you also want to make sure you have the proper ID, so that's either a real ID, passport, or check the TSA website to find the accepted forms of ID. Otherwise, if you don't have the proper ID, you'll have to get some additional screening. And you'll also want to make sure that your bags are packed properly and that they're following the TSA guidelines so that you don't get held up when you're going through security. And again, the lines are already long this morning, which is something that one traveler that we talked to earlier said she expected.
It's going to be a very long day, but I have TSA pre-check, so there's that. Other than that, he's going to have to stand in the long line, but it is what it is when you travel around the holidays.
And TSA says that if you're traveling with children 12 and under, they do have practices in place to speed up that screening process. And if you are enrolled in TSA PreCheck, then your kids can be in that line with you. And so, again, a lot going on here. The airport is also getting ready to unveil some pretty big upgrades later this week in about 2 days. And so we'll have more about that, Jennifer, coming up in about 30 minutes. I'll send it to you in the studio for now.
All right, Eric, thank you. If you're picking someone up from the airport, don't forget about the cell phone waiting lot at 1415 Murfreesboro Pike, which is just a few miles away from the airport.
Straight ahead on News Channel 5 this morning, a man at the center of a national immigration controversy is now in Nashville. We're breaking down Kilmar Abrego Garcia's connection to Tennessee and what a judge decided yesterday in federal court.
And it is the third day of CMA Fest. We're live in front of Music City Center where they have fanfare talking to an artist, and we'll have a live preview of what you can expect for today.
Plus, it's a News Channel 5 exclusive. We'll show you where the ever-elusive Ed the Zebra was spotted yesterday by our very own Sky 5. Your news is now.
Now, with a Storm 5 alert, this is News Channel 5 this morning.
Let's take a live look down on Broadway as the third day of CMA Fest is about to get underway. Good morning, everybody. I'm Chris Davis, in for Jennifer Krause. Thanks so much for waking up with us this morning. Of course, we got to get straight to News Channel 5's Henry Rothenberg. Henry, obviously lots of big events, outdoor events this weekend between the air show, between CMA Fest. You know, it seems like people are going to really need to be weather aware going into today.
Absolutely. You know, yesterday we saw cancellations and delays for CMA Fest. Let's throw the air show into that today, and I'm concerned about the potential for cancellations or delays for that as well, between low ceilings, which is when the clouds are below what would be their minimum limits to fly, and the threat of thunderstorms. Here's our weather setup for the day and what we're watching. Storm 5 alerts. Once again, copy and paste yesterday. We're going to do that all over. Somewhat calmer tomorrow, though, and then an unsettled pattern throughout the upcoming week. We're waking up to 73 in Music City, 72 in Murfreesboro, while Portland, Cookeville, McMinnville are all at 70. Columbia 69 with Dixon and Camden as well. We have quiet weather, currently minus some clouds on the Power 5 radar, but everybody has the threat of severe weather today. Let's take a look at it on Exact Track. By midday, isolated, turning scattered this afternoon and taking you through this evening. So that is when we're going to be concerned about the threat of these storms that'll fire up. 82 are high. Chris, the only reason I think we don't make it into the upper 80s is because these storms that are firing right as you would see that peak heating in the afternoon, I think that helps to cap our temperature at 82, preventing us from the upper 80s in many spots. Again, thunderstorms, damaging wind, even some heavy downpours, similar to yesterday, things that we're watching. We'll see if we can find some relief from this unsettled pattern coming up.
We're looking forward to that, especially, Henry. Thank you so much. CMA Fest is a country music fan's absolute dream. There are lots of performances all across the city. Many of them will have special meet and greets scheduled later on at Music City Center. Our Eric Pointer is there live this morning with a preview of what to expect. Eric, we now have the sun is up and music is about to begin all across our city.
Man, we can't wait. It is about to be loud here in downtown with all of the different music, all of the artists. We're expecting hundreds of artists to be performing, weather permitting, but hopefully we'll get them on stage. One of those artists who will be performing here for CMA Fest is Sophia Scott, who has graciously woken up early for us this morning. We appreciate it. It's happy to have you here.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, we're good. We're better now that you're here.
Yay!
We're excited to have you. Yeah, got coffee. So you have performed at CMA Fest before. You know what it's like, but what does it mean to you to be back again this year performing?
I mean, I think it's just such an honor. It's always like my favorite time of year. It's the official start to summer. I feel like there's so many people in town celebrating country music, and it just means a lot to me. I've dreamt of playing CMA Fest for so long, so to be doing it, this is my third year in a row, so I'm stoked.
Yeah, that's awesome. And graciously, I've gotten to see you perform live, and it's a great show. You do a great job, so I'm really excited. I know you're performing tomorrow, Hard Rock Stage at 2:20, right? But before that, you're doing a fanfare event, right? At 12:30?
12:30, yeah.
Okay. And so tell me, what is? I know that's something that's so unique to CMA Fest is to get that one-on-one time with fans. What does that mean to you as an artist to have that time?
I think it's really special to get to connect with people that I probably wouldn't meet otherwise. I think it's just nice. Like last year, I honestly cried last year because someone brought me a gift, and so I think just like have that one-on-one time and make that little connection with your audience members that you don't like. Sometimes like I'll see people that have like DM'd me on Instagram or whatever, and I think it's cool to just be able to see them in person and have like a face-to-face interaction and hear about what the music means to them and all of that kind of stuff. It's nice. Yeah,
that is awesome, and I bet that means so much. That's gonna make listening to your music for them mean so much more.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah. Okay. And I know, so tell us about, what do people need to be on the lookout when it comes to you? What do you have in the works?
Well, I'm also playing tonight at Tin Roof with my label, and I will be performing a couple new songs. I'm working on a new album. I'll have a new single coming out in a couple weeks, and then a couple more singles, and then, working on an album. I can't say the release date yet, but it is coming.
Yeah, we'll be on the lookout. We will be on the lookout.
Yeah, and then I'll be touring a bunch this summer too, so lots of fun stuff happening.
Well, really excited to have you. And speaking of new songs, we're going to get a preview of one coming up in about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we will be ready for that. I'll send it back to you guys in the studio for now.
Thank you, Eric. You've had a great lineup so far and more to come. Well, a 16-year-old Nashville student got the CMA Fest experience of a lifetime. Kingston Karif attends Nashville School of the Arts, and thanks to the CMA Foundation, he got to perform on stage. With nearly 4 million students nationwide lacking music education, the CMA Foundation is on a mission to change that by investing in music programs all across the U.S. This year at CMA Fest, students got a chance to gain behind-the-scenes access, march in the parade, and in Kingston's case, perform.
For me to be like 16 years old and still in high school, for me to share something that's very important to me, it just felt great. It just felt really good to be able to share that and know that like my dreams are becoming a reality, and then I can keep going.
We want our fans to experience it. We want it to be immersive. So I think giving students the opportunity to ultimately see what it could be like at some point in the future, but also to remind our fans that you're actually here giving back to a really good cause.
And how about this? The CMA Foundation has invested more than $30 million into music education programs all across the country. Well, there's a lot to keep in mind when it comes to CMA Fest, especially when it comes to all that traffic. But we're here to make sure your weekend is easy and enjoyable. We have a full guide including schedules, maps, road closures, and of course weather shelters right now on our News Channel 5 app. His deportation by the Trump administration sparked controversy and made international headlines. Kilmar Abrego Garcia is now back in the U.S., and late yesterday, he stood before a judge at the federal courthouse in Nashville. The Trump administration admitted it mistakenly deported Abrego Garcia from Maryland to his native El Salvador. and that's where he was in a Supermax prison until yesterday. Now, the Department of Justice and the federal court had been in an intense standoff over bringing him back. The indictment unsealed in court accused Abrego Garcia and others of partaking in a conspiracy in which they, quote, knowingly and unlawfully transported thousands of undocumented aliens who had no authorization to be present in the U.S.
The grand jury found that over the past 9 years, Abrego Garcia has played a significant role in an alien smuggling ring.
Now, the judge set a hearing for next Friday. That's when Abrego Garcia will be arraigned on the charges, and the judge will take up the government's motion to hold him until the trial. He remains in federal custody. And you may be wondering, what does Abrego Garcia, a Maryland man, have to do with the state of Tennessee? Well, this all started back in 2022 during a traffic stop in Cookeville. And we actually have video of that traffic stop. Troopers had stopped Abrego Garcia for suspicion of speeding, but soon suspected he was also transporting undocumented migrants across the country for money. At the time, he wasn't charged. From recent ICE arrests in Nashville to a congressional investigation into Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell, immigration has been a hot-button issue as of late. You can count on us to stay on top of these stories on air and on our News Channel 5 app. A woman in Clarksville was taken to the hospital last night after being grazed in the head with a bullet. This is video from our news partner, Dash 10 Media, from the parking lot of the C&G Food Mart on Crossland Avenue. Clarksville police tell us the shooting actually happened a few miles away at the intersection of Caldwell Lane and Maddox Circle. The victim was a passenger in a vehicle and was taken to the Food Mart after the shooting. Now, if you know anything about this crime, you are asked to reach out to police. Well, he's been on the run for a week now. And yesterday, Ed the zebra, missing out of Rutherford County and now an international celebrity, was spotted. Our Sky 5 caught a glimpse of him yesterday morning near a neighborhood in Christiana. Shout out to Sky 5 pilot Jason Morgan and chief photographer Mike Rose for spotting the ever-elusive Ed. Trail cameras are now tracking his movements, and the Texas company that sold the zebra plans to bring in their own helicopter and capture it using a tranquilizer gun. The owners, animal trackers, and deputies have been trying to lure him in with alfalfa, but so far, no luck. One family spent the day searching for tracks, something they say they like to do for fun.
When it spotted in the neighborhood, I knew exactly where our area was spotted in. I was like, it's going to stay right around here.
The public is asked to stay away from the area so the striped escapee doesn't get spooked. If you do happen to see him, call the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office. It is the saga that just won't end. Well, coming up on News Channel 5 this morning, everyone makes mistakes, including the highest court in the land. The Supreme Court sent out some emails yesterday by accident. Oops. We'll tell you about it coming up.
It was a mess out there on Friday, so fans I know are excited to have one normal day. Well, it may be the last of CMA Fest for this year, but there's still many performances set to happen all across the downtown area today. You also have a chance to get face-to-face with some of your favorite artists at their meet and greets. That's inside Music City Center at Fanfare X. Covering it all and has got you covered this morning is Eric Pointer. He's live there outside of Music City Center. You've been, of course, out there. You've seen a lot of these fans lining up early these past few mornings, getting to see their favorite artists. They don't play around. They want to be first in line. What have you seen so far out there?
You are so right, Amelia. They don't play around. There are already about a little handful of people, maybe like 6 people, already here, already in line, already ready to see their artist. Now, one of the artists that they had the opportunity to see here yesterday is Los Hermanos Mendoza, who we have convinced to wake up early for us this morning and play us a song. We have Beto on the bass, we have Adolfo on the lead guitar, and we have Jose on the rhythm guitar playing for us. A great song this morning. So tell us a little bit about this song you're going to play.
So this song, first of all, thank you, Eric. Thank you so much. But this song right here, it's an original song, and it's for our hometown of Bakersfield, California. That's where we're from. That's where we were raised, and we're proud, and we wear it on our chest.
All right. And what's it called?
This is called I'm Coming Home.
All right. Let's get a sample.
The promised land ain't far away. All gas, no brakes. Cruising through the grapevine. I know I'll make it in time. All right. Right on time. Awesome.
Thank you guys so much. A great song. And I know, like you mentioned, it's streaming on all platforms, so everyone can go and listen to your music and follow you on social media. Los Hermanos Mendoza. That's something that we shall be looking out for. And you guys told me a little bit ago you're working on some new music. People will be on the lookout for that as well. Thank you again. We really appreciate you guys joining us this morning.
Thank you so much, Eric. We appreciate you guys having us.
Yeah, okay. Well, we will send it back to you guys in the studio for now.
Well, what a great treat. Thanks so much, Eric. Well, speaking of CMA Fest, I had the chance to be on the Hard Rock stage yesterday. I'm so thankful that the rain held off for most of it. Of course, we got to hear from a number of really great artists. We had Peyton Porter out there, Rowan Alexander, Mount Schuster, and Colin Stowe. Really always such a fun experience to play just a small, teeny part in CMA Fest. There are a couple of familiar faces you could see out there this week. Of course, today our Aaron Cantrell is going to be hosting a stage. You can catch him in just a couple hours at the Dr. Pepper Amp stage at Ascend Park from 11 to 2. I believe Mason Ramsey is going to be part of his set there, so go check him out as well. We interviewed him earlier this week. And, of course, the music doesn't stop after CMA Fest. Music is always rolling in Tennessee. The Bonner Music and Arts Festival in Manchester starts this Thursday. If you want to buy tickets, you better do that soon. We checked this morning on Bonner's website, which says they have a few tickets left. We also have a guide to this year's fest, including the lineup on our website, newschannel5.com. So check it out. From Broadway to Manchester, a lot going on in June.